Okay, so today we're going to talk about ears. Physiologically, the ears represent your kidneys and longevity. Psychologically, it's risk-taking ability, and the element associated with them is water. So my ears are a little red. If they're very red, then you have inflammation, kidney issues, and low back pain typically, which is true for me because I have a lumbar scoliosis. So if my back is sore, I do notice my ears are more red and hot. So interesting associations. If you have large ears, I have relatively large ears. They suit my face, but they are large. You tend to be more durable and generally healthy, and you have an inherited ability to live a long life. We're not afraid of taking risks, can tune into the big picture, and we're good listeners, which goes well with my tree face. Being a protector, I need to be able to listen well, right? I don't always listen well, but with my eyebrows and my forehead, I'm a get to the point kind of person still. If you're small-eared, you tend to be more fragile, need to pay closer attention to your health, tend to be more cautious, self-critical, introverted, thoughtful, and more fearful. And that is an emotion of the kidneys is fear. Different sizes. You may have had many challenges and crises in younger years, but you'll have more success later in life. So first 30 years of my life haven't been great. Not that I haven't had great moments or anything, but they haven't been as successful as most people's progressions of like, I went through high school, I got this diploma, now I'm here, blah, 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 blah. My life is the opposite. My life's going to get much better with age. My ears are slightly different sizes. See? Slightly different sizes. Flat to head. So mine stick out a little bit, but if they're a little flatter, you are likely hypersensitive to sound and may have a condition called misophonia, which literally means the hatred of sound. You're a good listener, can listen to more than one conversation at a time. So if you're out at a restaurant or something, you're listening to the conversation that you're having with whoever you're with. You hear the bartender order, you hear the music, and you hear 3 other conversations behind you, and you can keep track of all of them. It's a blessing and a curse. So if your ears stick out and are forward facing, this is common in children with ADHD. So you can notice my nephew. I really wish I could show you a picture because his ears stick out quite a bit. And I could see some ADHD tendencies in him. So auditory stubbornness, hear everything but don't always listen. He definitely hears everything, but he doesn't always listen. Only hear what they want to hear. May ignore things outside of their way of thinking, don't like to be told what to do, love the sound of their own voice, and they are assertive. Now, if your ears are sticking out, forward facing only on one side, this is my right side. If this was sticking out more, which means I would have listened to my mother more than my father. Yeah. Could have been true, but just as the example, this is my right side. So if my ear was forward facing, sticking out more on this side than my left, then I would listen more to my mother than my father. If they are different heights, like if you see mine, if you take a level right across, this right ear is slightly lower than my left. May have a difficult or severed relationship with a parent. Parents are often divorced or maybe have a difficult relationship with a step parent. My father passed when I was 15. And my mom and I are extremely similar individuals, so we tend to have a little bit more problems. High set, top, so the top half of your ear is at or above the level of your eyebrows. So mine are about level with my eyebrows. Let's do it this way. See, about level. You're realistic, don't like the limelight, steady and reliable workers, down to earth, have a common sense approach to life. I remember in the first couple of years of my softball team, we went out for wings and drinks afterwards, and I was early with 2 other people, and this one guy who barely knew me, he's like, you know, Kelly, if I ever needed anything done, I would call you in a heartbeat. And I was like, well, what makes you say that? He's like, you're the most trustworthy and reliable person I know. And I'm like, thanks for making me so boring. I understand what he says. Again, pros and cons. You don't have to get too crazy with how this defines you. It's been a real benefit for my business, being self-employed massage therapist, building a business. I've always been reliable. I'm always like half an hour early, doing more things than I need to do, going above and beyond for my clients as much as possible. But it's also prevented me from having healthy boundaries with work clients and personal relationships, right? So pros and cons. If they're low set, like below your eyebrow level, you're idealistic, intelligent, affable, gregarious, conversational, and energetic. So that's the ears. Oh, I forgot. If they're close to your cheekbone, I've noticed that a lot of people's ears are further away from their cheekbone, like this is a decent distance, see? Close to the cheekbone, you go with your gut, which makes sense because your intestines are here, right? Relies on basic instincts to make decisions. If they're set back from the cheekbone, such as mine, they're like my cheekbones here, this is a fair distance away. Relies on intellect to make decisions. I love lists, pros and cons, what can I do, this and that. Let's talk it out, hash it out, find out where we can find a good solution. So vertical lines next to the tragus, right here, if you see little lines on either side. Again, this will affect which side of the relationship, personal or business, and mother or father relationship. You may have had poor stability in childhood or poor parental support. Actually, I don't think I have any, which is kind of surprising. Red, again, is too much heat in the kidneys, adrenal insufficiencies, high blood pressure. In children, it can indicate the ADHD, like I said earlier, and or hypoglycemia, which I could also see in my nephew because he eats a lot of carbs. If ears suddenly turn beet red, can indicate an allergic reaction to food. Very interesting. Irritable and thin-skinned is usually what that means more psychologically. A thick helix, so mine is kind of, thickish, but some people have really thick helixes here. Tendency to overindulge as a child or was overfed while in utero. After I forgot about that, I did overindulge as a child. So it's thick at the top, but the rest of it gets pretty thin. Thin helix indicates you may have had periods of difficult health, but you're enthusiastic, impulsive, and extroverted. A notched helix, I do believe I have one. Is it this one, or I think it's on this side? I can't quite remember. I'd have to look at my pictures. But if you have like a little fold that happens somewhere in your ear, it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but a fold in your ear. Lack of safety and support at corresponding ages. So there's ages that fixate around the ear, and they're different for men and women on which side. May have experienced a stressful one-time event, physical or emotional. Large lobes, good at planning for the future. Mine are pretty big. Small lobes, focused on the present, think less about the future. Attached lobes. So my lobe isn't like, an attached lobe is like when it's connected here, hey? Maintains connections and attachment to family, positive or negative impulses. If you have a crease in your lobe, you see this, like even if my ears weren't pierced, I could have a crease in my lobe, right? Potential inherited heart weakness or heartbreak. I met a woman at the airport who had it bilaterally in both her ears, which was rather interesting. I think I may have freaked her out a little bit. I said it's an inherited heart weakness, and I didn't mean to scare her. I just thought it was interesting that it was on both sides. And I just met her briefly, so I'm curious if she had, if she'd been married. I think she had been married and divorced and, or married and widowed and married again and widowed again, because she was near her 80s. So I think that's what it was, the heartbreak. You could see it on both sides. Or maybe she had a really great connection with her mother or somebody feminine, more on her feminine side, and she lost them and that broke her heart. But she did have creases. She's like, are you sure it's not just because I'm old and I have earrings? I was like, no, that's not why. But otherwise, in regards to her health, like her nose looked great. She didn't have bulbous. She was a beautiful woman for 80 years old. You would have never known. Had all your typical wrinkles, but very beautiful one. So, it's a lot of information on ears. Do you have big ears, small ears? Are they level to your eyebrows? Are they below your eyebrows? Are they close to your cheekbone? Are they far away? Do you have big lobes, no lobes? Do you have lines here? Tell me what you noticed about your ears, and if you're interested in having your face read, comment down below, face, and I'll send you a message.